Hey there, today I'm going to be doing a VOD review of one of my recent games. This is Diamond 1 Masters MMR on NA, and I am the Volibear jungle on the blue side, and we win this game. But I thought it'd be interesting to take a look from red side, so I'm going to be looking at the enemy jungler and doing an analysis of what I think he could have done better. And hopefully I'm going to learn something about kind of mistakes in my play that I'm only going to see kind of from analyzing it from the other perspective. That's the hope here. So before we get into the game, real quick, talk about matchups because it's relevant for pathing. Ornn versus Mordekaiser top. I believe this is pretty strongly Mordekaiser favored, kind of forever. Ornn still wins short trades, but Mordekaiser has a lot of sustain, better poke, and really a lot stronger in the extended fights, and also once they hit 6, because he can ult to stop Ornn from hitting his ram. Jungle Trundle wins this 1v1 if they're even-ish. Lethal tempo versus press the attack, and Trundle's just an excellent duelist. Mid, Garen should win this pretty easily. Bruiser, Juggernaut versus Assassin, when they're both melee, usually goes to the Juggernaut. And then bot lane is, I think, more of a skill matchup. Like if somebody oversteps and Braum's able to jump in and tag them with a stun, they have a lot of damage. Likewise, if Swain's able to hit a bind, they can poke someone out. Bot lane's definitely the place, like mid and bot are where I would focus. As Trundle, because you don't want to be ganking this likely to be losing lane, so I like the idea of him starting top. So Trundle's... Oh, this is a little surprising to me. Trundle's AoE is quite bad early, so I thought he would go red-blue Gromp. Him stopping to do Raptors seems wrong, but I don't play enough Trundle to know how those two options relate. I do like that he is sticking to the path of fast level 3, going straight to Gromp. Taking a look at lanes. There's nothing to do bottom. There's nothing to do mid. Top is sort of gankable because of how far up Mordekaiser is, but I don't think you'd want to run all the way around. This feels pretty risky. So why is this risky? Katarina has a big wave stacked, and by leaving lane, if this doesn't immediately end, she's going to miss all of these minions. Likewise, Katarina's level 2 to Garen's level 3, so if the enemy jungler is somewhere nearby, then they're likely to lose this 2v2. And I think the last part is Katarina is just not very strong at level 2. This isn't like a Pantheon versus a Malzahar where you jump on him and then you stick to him and you kill him. Like it's a Garen. He's got bonus movement speed, he's relatively tanky, he's got Doran shield, and he has all his sums. This is absolutely insane to me, this level of chasing. Like, we're reaching a point where even if they get this kill, I'm not even sure that it's a net positive. Like, look at what Trundle is basically baiting Katarina into missing. So, I'm just going to go back to right here. Let's say Trundle doesn't do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 minions plus a cannon. Plus another 6 minions from the wave that just arrived. So Katarina is now missing 13 minions and a cannon at the very start of the game. And I'm not even going to look at what's happening with this fight right now. And Garen missed one wave so far. That's another 2 minions, 15 minions, 16 minions. Katarina basically missed 4 waves mid. And the wave is now slow pushing away so that it's stacking for Garen. And the end result out of all of it was that blue side gets 2 kills. Trundle is super low, so he can't contest really anything else that happens on the map until he recalls. And like, there was a fight here, but honestly it doesn't matter. This play was so absurdly risky and dragged on for so long that, like, even in the best case scenario where they kill everyone, I think the game is relatively even. Alright, so Trundle's so low he can't contest the scuttle, and he can't help this fight. Katarina's so far behind that she can't really pressure here. All she can do is catch the wave. And meanwhile, Garen is catching more minions. Nobody misses this farm. It's not like what happened mid. So, definitely by far, this play middle really sets Trundle behind. Sets Trundle and his team behind. And that's one of the dangers of, as a jungler, especially when you're playing aggressive, it's one thing to just kind of passively full clear. You're unlikely to kind of trick your teammates into doing bad things. Sometimes they might get mad at you, like, why didn't you come to this fight, or why aren't you helping? But what Trundle did there was, like, actively sabotaging his team by making a bad aggressive play. So, I'm going to go back a little bit. We're going to kind of accept, like, this is the state of the game now. Blue side is winning by, I guess when this all resolves, close to 1.5k, maybe 2k when Garen picks up that wave. So what should Trundle be looking to do? So bot is even-ish. Mid is actually relatively even as well, and top is relatively even. The big disadvantage here is that the enemy jungler has a huge lead on Trundle. And what that means is, with all the other lanes even, he needs to be really careful about starting a fight, because he's going to lose the 2v2 anywhere, or the 3v3, if the enemy Volibear shows up. So, Trundle doesn't have enough money for... I'm not actually sure what his first back is supposed to be. I think it's Sheen. So I could see him backing here to pick up Sheen. That's pretty big. Ornn getting a kill at all on Mord is surprising, I think. This is really risky. Yeah, I don't think as Trundle you want to be here. I'm not even sure you win this 2v2. I guess it depends if Braum is able to soak a lot of damage. Garen is pretty low. Yeah, I guess Garen was low enough that they could win that 2v2, and he didn't overextend. Garen is too low, I think, to threaten this dive. And the back here makes a lot of sense. I think backing without even going to that fight would have also been really reasonable. Like, just ping Cat danger, get her to standard tower, go get your Sheen, and then get back on the map. Okay, so right now, Volibear's mid, and you can see Volibear hasn't backed yet. So actually a play right now looks pretty reasonable, because Trundle's down 1 level, but he has items, which means that the fight should be relatively even. Or maybe Trundle has a slight lead because he's a better duelist.
Blue team double kill.
But that's the sort of play, like, this fight down here is the sort of thing that Trundle could have been at with items if he had backed instead of going into this middle fight. Wow, that execute.
Blue team double kill.
Man, I'm not even sure they win that 3v3. It feels like they should have, or 3v2. I think if Trundle was there, then red side cleans up. I'm gonna go back to this. So what are the reasons? This is crazy to me. What is Cat doing? Oh, she's just trying to pull the wave. Because she doesn't want Garen to back, because Garen hasn't bought any items yet. Okay, I kind of get this. I understand the thought process. I think when Braum shows up... Yeah, okay, so here's the reason that I think this play is bad. And it's kind of the same thing as before, is he's not respecting the lane state. Katarina has basically 2 waves stacked up. And the enemy team is playing inside of that wave. So not only, like again, if this play goes badly, Cat loses all these minions. But also, they're taking like 7 extra minions worth of damage. And I think if Cat dies here, this is like a 90-10 game for blue side. Like, she's going to be level 4. The next time her and Garen interact, Garen will be 6, and Cat will be 4, and like he's just going to run up and kill her. And she's just not going to be able to be on the map. So, Trundle should have seen Cat has a big wave stacking up. There's not any, like... There's not like a big item or numbers discrepancy here. It's not like they had 5 people mid for red side. Like, it was a 2v2. Blue side was relatively healthy. There was a big wave. Just recall and then look at the lanes and see, okay, orange shoved under, there's nothing to do there, and just start running bot. And you can see if Trundle gets bot, like... he's probably about 15 seconds out from here to this fight. Maybe 20. And if he doesn't spend all that time messing around here, I think he's like running around this corner or running down the lane, like as this is starting. And they get this 3v2 where Garen just backed, Volibear's mid, Morta's missing but unlikely to be there. And it's like a pretty good risk where he can get his team back into the game.
Blue team double kill.
Okay, so now what does Trundle do? Definitely take this Gromp because there's nothing to do bot. Or, yeah, actually I think running bot and catching this wave, so let's see how much gets missed. 1 cannon, 2, 3 melee. He gets a cannon and 3 melee minions. I don't know. He doesn't have great options right now. Like, mid isn't gankable. And he doesn't really have camps up. Drake's not an option. So maybe catching this wave is okay. Maybe he just does what he does. No, works out. So I guess my thing about this is this initial poke feels like a mistake. Like, he's telling the enemy, like, hey, I'm here. And Garen's just doesn't give a shit. Like, he just walks up and keeps trading and is in the enemy wave, even though he just saw Trundle very recently. And, like, this kind of looks like a bait. like Volibear's here or Braum is here, like Varus is running up, but no, Trundle doesn't, or Garen doesn't have any support, he just dies for it. So I think I would have liked this play more if he hadn't shown initially and just like run around this side. And does he have sweep? Yeah. I don't know if sweep was up there, but it just felt like really telegraphed. And then the change I would make here is he needs to help Katarina shove this in. Like, Katarina's super low. There's another wave about to hit. You absolutely should not be leaving her in this lane by herself. And you can see Volibear's here, level 6. Now she can't shove it in. So she's missing... Oh, she missed 3 or 4 minions. And Garen's able to pick up that farm. So, kind of a missed... he's just... The biggest thing is Trundle is not respecting the lane state and what it means for his laner's decision-making or ability to make plays. Like, if he stays mid, gives Cat the clean shove, she gets a better recall timing and has slightly more gold. And also Trundle picks up some of that experience and gold, which is great. I think running top here is good. He knows that Mord is really low. Trundle's got good burst damage, so he just kills him. You could look for Herald here. You could also... I think a play mid is a little better than Herald. This is really volatile. So I agree with Trundle's decision to go mid. That... I don't know. I don't like that flash. You just saw that Volibear was just took Drake, and Garen's running towards him. Like, what I imagine there is one way that this plays out is Trundle pillar, flash ult, Garen chooses not to flash, or flashes at the last possible second, and then Volibear ults from this bush or flashes over, and they lose the 2v2. Oh, but Volibear hasn't backed yet. Well, maybe it's fine then. Yeah, they definitely win the 2v2 if Volibear has no items. I'm not sure if he knew that, though. Playing for Herald seems... This feels really risky. Mord has... He doesn't really have priority, but he's got a little bit of time where he could go check this. Garen does have priority. Garen still has ult. Volibear's mid. Volibear still doesn't have items. But I guess he swept it and knows that there's no vision, so... I don't know, I would have rather seen a gank top here. Mord was really far up, and his ult is still on cooldown. Level 6's ult is a really long cooldown. So that gank top earlier when Mord was like stepped up here I think would have been really good. And also they didn't know he was in the area. Like you sweep towards top and then get that play, get the 2v2, especially because you saw volley mid pretty recently. But at this point, his team's down 4k, which is a big enough lead at this MMR that I feel like this is like an 80-20 game against him. Like very, very hard to come back, very hard to find opportunities. I'm not going to go into the whole rest of the game because I feel like the mistakes that I touched on already were really significant. Hope you enjoyed this. Good luck.